Culture Warrior segment tonight. A far-left California senator is proposing a new law in that state that would force schools to teach children about gay icons, even as Jimmy Carter is saying this.
Well, I think the entire population of America has come tremendous strides forward in dealing with the issue of gays. And I would say that the answer is yes. I don't know about next election, but I think in the near future.
All right, if you missed that, there was an internet thing, and a question posed was, will there be a gay president anytime soon? And Mr. Carter thinks there will be. Here now, the Culture Warriors from Stamford, Connecticut. Fox and Friends co-anchor Gretchen Carlson. Here in the studio, Fox News contributor Margaret Hoover. All right, Hoover, what disturbs me here is that under the guise of anti-bullying, which absolutely you have to have. I mean, you know, kids who are effeminate, boys who are effeminate, get worked over, and we've got to protect them. We, the public, teachers, everybody. We all understand it. But now they're saying, you know what? We got to identify people who are homosexuals to school children, and we got to talk about that. No. No, Hoover.
It's not just that, Bill. They're doing three things to the law in California. This is what it proposes. It proposes to include the role and contributions of LGBT Americans in educational materials, their historical value, what they've contributed. It adds them as a under-respected cultural and ethnic group that is among the many that are already listed in the California educational requirements. And it does one other thing. It adds sexual orientation to the state's existing anti-discrimination protections.
Okay, I don't mind a protection on that, but I don't want a third or fourth grader saying, you know, well, gay, what does that mean? I don't think that that should be introduced. What say you, Carlson?
I'm all for honoring the accomplishments of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people, which is what that stands for. But let's face it, I'm with you on this, O'Reilly. Why do we need to put it in the textbooks? Because here's the problem that I have with it. I'm not so sure that putting it in the textbooks and honoring these people leads to less bullying. Where's the research that shows that? My daughter has been bullied at school, so
yeah, there isn't any research,
what would be the research
but
that would
it's
stop
a
that?
building
Well,
up of tolerance. That's what they're trying to say. If you make it tolerant, if you say, well, here's a hero who is gay, then people might not bully. It's theoretical. Go ahead.
Here's the problem I have with it. The problem, because you know I'm in favor of gay rights, the problem I have with it is that the educational movement in the state of California for the last 30 years has been hijacked by special interests trying to push their own agendas.
That's exactly what this is.
And the educational curriculum fight has become a proxy war for the culture wars that adults are fighting out in the classroom.
This is
and
about,
this isn't about,
right.
Here's the thing, the reality is in America our story is about expanding individual liberties and freedoms to previously disenfranchised groups of minorities. So the story of gay rights and the gay rights movement is part of the American story.
Stop.
However,
No,
I would not put.
Yeah, but Bill,
hold it. Stop. I don't. This isn't a telethon here. I only have a very short period of time. This isn't. If somebody was gay, all right, and that played into their role in history, I have no problem with that. If Cochise were gay and he got shot in the head because he was on a date, okay, all right. But this doesn't have anything to do with history. So I resent this. Now, I'm going to tell the audience there was a gay president already, Jimmy Carter. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You should know. But that's true. Absolutely true. All right, now, we have a ballerina in New York City, all right? And do we have a picture of this lady? Can we show the picture of the lady? Because I got to set it up. All right, this ballerina was reviewed by the New York Times, a guy named Alistair Macaulay. Okay, and Macaulay said, quote, where is the quote?
she had eaten one sugar plum too many.
Yeah. Jennifer Ringer, as a sugar plum fairy, looked as if she'd eaten one sugar plum too many. Now, Ms. Ringer is absolutely appalled, Carlson, and the New York Times critic is undeterred, says if you're going to be a ballet person, you know, and you're chubby, and I don't think she is, you got to take that. What say you?
Chubby? I mean, this woman is not overweight at all. Plus, she had just come forward recently and admitted that she struggled with an eating disorder as a child. What kind of message?
The critic might not know that, but the critic says it's legitimate if you're in the ballet and he thinks you've eaten one sugar plum too many, that he can say that. You say no.
You know what?
He can't say
I say that she handled it brilliantly, because she actually did not come out and say, how dare he. She said, okay, well, I'll take his recommendation to heart, although she said, I don't believe that I'm overweight.
I just think it was a cheap shot.
She was not deeply offended by this. What she said was, look, I'm a ballerina. My body is out there. That's part of the critique of my dancing. However, she went on the Today Show and said, look, I don't need an apology. I don't really care if he thinks I'm fat. I may be a little fuller than other ballerinas, but by no means am I plump. And so she's comfortable with herself.
Well, it was a cheap shot. It had nothing to do. If she's a good dancer, and she does her job, it doesn't matter if she eats sugar plums.
In an industry that is ridden with eating disorders and women's body image issues, it was a deeply cheap shot.
All right. Now, if any of you guys know who that gay president was, feel free to email Hoover. And,
I do.
Millard
all right, go ahead, Carlson. Who?
Buchanan.
Very good.
Buchanan.
James Buchanan.
Buchanan.
Yeah. That's in Pinheads and Patriots, everybody. All right, ladies, thanks very much.